Hey, what's up, Joey? This is a quick demo video for you for your Creepy Uncle by Dennis Lukianoff. I was going to do this demo this evening, but I got it all done, so I want to just go ahead and knock it out now. This is installed the CFX. It does have the CCSabers LED pixels that I'll show you in a second. I got your blade plug in there right now. As you can see, it sits flush. It actually goes down a little bit in there and you could lock it in, but I just locked it in flush. You do have a 2-button setup, so you would ask for your activation to be down here. So your activation's here. Your auxiliary is the top. Nice tactile feel on both of those. Your LEDs here do work, right? So we'll see that in a second. This is a 2-part chassis. So the first part is your battery, or your battery compartment, basically. So I had to order these guys. I ordered 2 sets of the disconnects. So you got the male piece right here with your pins that lock into that PCB that you can see right there. And that brings forward your positive and negative power for your battery. And then also your speaker wires brings those forward as well. So you got your 28mm bass speaker that's hidden underneath this cap. So if you wanted to, you could pull this apart, but you never need to. This is meant to be a press fit into this piece and just stay locked in, and then your sound venting happens around this rim. You can't see it, but on the inside, that's hollow. It sounds really nice. The second part to this chassis is where it unscrews right here from the grenade section. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. And this is also wireless, right? So this is the second set of PCBs I ordered. So of course your male pins are right here. They barely stick out. I don't know if you can even catch that on the black there. You see they barely stick out. And then they catch that female PCB right there that brings power to your CCSabers pixel LEDs. And then it also gives you access to your board. So you got your board right here, CFX, easy access to your SD card, right? And then everything is nice and neatly wired from underneath, so you don't have anything up top. So we're just going to go ahead and slide this back in. When you're sliding this in, it goes right in, but just be careful because it is a tight tolerance to make sure that everything locks into place correctly, especially when you're using these disconnects. So you've got these, you've got these disconnects you can use. You got Smuggler's Outpost that I like to use when making a completely removable chassis. All of those pins need to be exactly on point so that they don't trail off on those PCB traces right there. They don't, cockeye and then something shorts out. So that's why that fits in there pretty tight. So that's on. You got your battery in. I will say your battery in here is super tight, man. Your positive side is right here. And then you'll see that. Just make sure you don't put this battery in backwards. I'm gonna have to work on getting this battery out of the cradle later. This piece is notorious on this hilt and this chassis design to be a tight fit anyway for this battery. That's just the way it has to be. It's a great design. It's something I enjoy doing, but the downside is you're not just going to take your finger and pop your battery out. So I'm going to work on that a little bit later and see what works for me, and then I'll text you. But for right now, that battery's in there. So when you put your battery in, you just want to go in just like that and just screw it all the way in. Just make sure you screw that pummel cap all the way in. Just like that. Now that kind of woke the board up when it introduced power to the board, right? So we'll hit your power button down here. Now you can see your LEDs. You see your blade plug, right? Now if we tap this for blast or deflex, you don't really get a different animation, but when you hold down your auxiliary for blade lockup, you'll have a different animation right here. Just like that. Flash on flash. Everything's working good there. So we're gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna come over here. Here's your blade retention screw right here. So we're gonna pop this blade plug out. This does take a 1-inch diameter blade. So I did use the PCB holder to go down inside that socket there. So you got as much blade depth as you could possibly get, right? So I'm gonna take my test blade. We'll pop it in here. For a thin neck saber, this has a decent amount of blade depth and it holds a blade very well. So on a previous thin neck saber that I just finished up, my last video on the Inception, because my test blade has been sanded so much, it was super loose in that guy. But this is holding my blade very securely. So activation, try to wake the board up, right? One more time. Now, when you tap for blaster deflex, if I had a full-length blade, you'd see it randomly along the blade. But if I hold it down for blade lockup, you'll see the whole thing. Now, when you have the blade on and you want to change colors, hold down your auxiliary button and twist your wrist like this. Whoops, that was the activation. You have a different, so your button configuration is a little bit different than what I usually do, so I got confused. So hold down your auxiliary and twist your wrist. Spectrum. Now you can twist the hilt. Every time you hear it click, it's a different blade color. So if we wanted to go blue, right? When you find one that you like, just come over here and tap a button, just like that. So now when we turn it off and back on, it'll be blue. I gave you about 21 different blade effects on this guy. So when the blade is on, you get to a different effect. We'll do the same thing. We'll hold down the aux and twist our wrist, but this time we're going to keep the button held down. Spectrum. Keep holding it. Blade profiles. Blade profiles. Now again, you can twist the hilt. And every time you hear it click, you're going to experience a different blade effect. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than others on camera. Let's cycle through a few of these. This one changes colors, right? This just has a slight flicker in it. So when you find one you like, again, just tap a button. So now again, when we turn it back on, we'll have a blue blade and we'll have that flicker effect on our blade. Just like that. And we'll turn it off. I will say that as long as you have the battery in, it will save the blade color and the blade effect that you chose for that sound font. But when you take the battery out, the boot or the card, the sound card does a hard reboot and it will revert back to the color and blade style that was programmed to start up for that sound font. So the next time you turn it on, it'll go back to its original. To get to your sound fonts, what you want to do is when the blade is off, we're going to hold down our auxiliary button. Sound bank selection. A small rebel force has penetrated the good sound and landed on Endor. So now you can cycle up or down with either button. That's your Brittany font, but I'm not going to do it. A small rebel force has penetrated the ship. I'll let you play that at home. When you find one you like, hold the button down. Activation. Auxiliary. Off. So there you go. That is your saber and how to go through all the functions. If you got any questions, please let me know. If not, I will have this out to you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.